What's good, everyone? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media update, another Indiana Fever forecast. All right, we have a lot to talk about, and um, man, I don't even know where to start because it's so much. Because I will have another video sometime today about the viewership records that Caitlin and Angel Reese broke, and break down some other things or some other statistical stuff dealing with Caitlin Clark. But first, I want to go into this part right here. I want to show you a quick little template. This template right here. What the F is Christy Sides doing? As you look at the top, you have Celeste Taylor, Demiris Dantas, Christy Sides, and Caitlin Clark. Top says, my bestie, replying to Celeste Taylor, who's saying no. And then Dantas says, I'm back. And Christy Sides say Wallace is a better defender. Okay, so you wonder what I'm talking about? Okay, well, I'm going to get to it. Nice, short, and sweet. Today, I woke up on Twitter, and next thing you know, I saw that Celeste Taylor was released. She was waived by the Indiana Fever. Now, Celeste Taylor, we already know, is a two-time defensive champion, player of the year. First with the ACC with Duke, and then with the Big Ten with Ohio State. Now, her specialty is defense. We all know that. Her specialty is defense. She's, but she also could score. She's a good passer and everything. And she's, best friends with Caitlin Clark. They played in Olympic FIBA team and everything like that. But Celeste Taylor didn't get a lot of playing time with the Fever. And a lot of people kept wondering why, because especially if the Fever was having defensive issues, and Christy Sides calling is defense, supposedly. And she preaches defense all the time with this team. And when you have a talent like Celeste Taylor, who was drafted in the second round behind Caitlin Clark this year in the draft, you want to implement her qualities. And this is where Christie Sides continues to get in trouble with us content creators and media, and especially on Twitter, because she doesn't understand the talent that she has and the people that she should not be putting so much trust in, aka Christy Wallace, aka Erica Wheeler. Two people that, especially Christy Wallace, who's not a really great defensive player. And, Christy Sides, she sits there and, she said, well, she's a dog, she's this, she's that. And I don't believe what she has to say. But if you're going to cut somebody, why not cut Vivian Saxon? Somebody that has really ain't gave you any minutes off the bench, who hasn't contributed anything to your team since the preseason. At least Celeste Taylor did got a chance to came in the game some this year. Hell yeah, mostly when the team is blowing out or whatever the case might be. Even Grace Berger got more playing time than her this year. And we don't even know what's going on with Grace Berger because she was hurt. She got hurt a few weeks back, and nobody knows that she's back yet. She's dressed out, but there's no word on her. The thing about it is that so many people are angry about Celeste Taylor. Hell, I wanted Celeste Taylor on the team. We can't do nothing about it now, And like I said, the situation with Christie Sides is going to have to take its own shape and form throughout the season, especially with the All-Star and the Olympic break coming along and the off-season. We don't know what's going on. But you waive Celeste Taylor to activate Demiris Dantas. Now, I don't mind the activation by Demiris Dantas because I been looking up Demiris Dantas since the beginning of the season and wonder why she was on the team. Matter of fact, ESPN had her activated on their roster on their scoring chart over the weekend when they played Chicago. I went back and looked, and I kept seeing her name highlighted that she had got playing time, and I was like, she was in the game. But now she's activated. So, but like I said, to activate Dantas is to put is to keep, because I think what now they will have Saxon, Melissa Smith, Katie Lou, and Temi Fagbenle. They'll have four forwards on the team, and you could add Alicia Boston as a slash forward center on the team. Now Dantas is 6'3" and everything like that. And I'm gonna show some clips of her because I've seen a lot of people today is saying, oh, we activate her, but we cut Celeste Taylor. But y'all don't even know the whole dynamic of why Dantas has been activated. Dantas has been on the team since the beginning of the season. And her story was because her family, a family member had passed away. She had to go back to her homeland, Brazil, where she her contract was terminated. And then she came back around the training camp and got hurt. She hurt her knee. So that kept her away for a while until she recovered. But nobody knew the status of her. She signed with the Fever for on a 2-year deal. She played 8 years. She's 31 years old, and plus she's her last team was with the Minnesota Lynx. Plus she played with the Brazilian Olympic team. Her and Soberly, they both Brazilian. But a lot of people don't know about her, and and I think people are panicking and say, well, you cut one person for somebody that, and people, I saw people on Twitter kept saying, well, hey, does she play defense? Does she does this? Does she do that? Well, I'm here to tell you, she does every damn thing, everything. And to me, I think she will probably be in the lineup at some point of this season because I have watched her. And like I said, Celeste Taylor would have been good, but Christie Sides brought Wallace there and she's not going to bench Wallace unless the only thing if Wallace get hurt, then I can see Wallace not in the lineup. But I think with Dantas back, there's a chance that CC could be the main focus as a point guard, and there's a rotation. But I could get into all of that in a little bit. But I understand the level of upset that people are with Celeste Taylor because she's young. And I hate that she, what if somebody like the Dallas Wings or the Atlanta Dream or the Chicago Sky pick her up, and then she has to play against us. You know what I'm saying? Then people would be really pissed off and mad. But there was a lot of players that got waived this year, and maybe they still have to waive players to fit for the new expansion teams. So they probably getting waived for that reason, not for other people to pick up. So, and I don't think that the Sky has room to pick anybody up anyway. So, but I will miss Celeste Taylor. I really wish she would had an opportunity to play for the Sky. I mean, for the Fever. I wish she had an opportunity to really got the chance to showcase herself. But Christy Sides, she's who she is. She's that kind of coach. It reminds me of Billy Donovan with the Chicago Bulls. And I'm sorry, he does the same thing. He doesn't. And they haven't proved the team. And me personally, I would, if I was Lynn Dunn, I would say, hey, we need to waive this person. We need to keep her. She's talent. At some point in time, if you're a GM, you need to step in and make moves. You was the one that signed Demir Dantas. So therefore, having her back on the team is a plus. It's a great plus. And I'm going to break down why it's a great plus. But before I even get into anything else, I'm going to show y'all film on Demiris Dantas, because if y'all don't know who she is, then I'm about to show y'all who she is, and maybe y'all can understand her game, and then I will give you a knowledge. Now, the clip is 10 minutes long, but I'm not going to even go whole 10 minutes. I'll probably go no more than 4 to 5 minutes, a little bit, or shorter, depends on. But here we go. All right. That's just some of the highlights of her. So that just go to show you what she can do. She has a whole arsenal. She can play defense, especially bang down low. If you notice, she was going against Aja Wilson down low. She took the ball away from her. She's about Aja Wilson's size. Um, like I said, she's 6'3" plus. You know, she's a big body that can handle down low. If you look at her repertoire, she can pass. You know what I'm saying? She's a great passer. She could hit the mid range, and she has a Derek Nowinski mid range step back fall away with a leg out like Derek Nowinski. That's a plus because it makes it hard for teams to players to try to block her shot. You know what I'm saying? Then she has the 3-point arsenal where she's lethal from 3-point line. That's something that's going to benefit this Fever team. If you notice, the Fever team do not have any bench scoring. And this is one of the reasons why I say that, okay, yeah, we could have kept Celeste Taylor and got rid of somebody else. But if you look at it, the Fever don't have bench scoring at all. So we can sit here and talk about defense all day long, but the fact of the matter is this team doesn't have bench scoring because you're not getting constant production for Katie Lou off the bench. You're not getting constant production off of Wheeler off the bench. You're not getting started production from Christy Wallace. So if Dantas is in shape, now some of these photos, some of them in the video look like she wasn't really in that much shape, but she runs the floor. She spaced well. She pick and roll really good. That's something that could benefit Aaliyah Boston. Also, if Dantas was to be in a starting lineup, and especially with now that Temi Fagbenle is on her way back, she's kind of like day to day. So we don't know if she's going to play Thursday or Sunday. And to me, if her and Dantas could be ready for Sunday's game against the Mercury, that would be a plus. And even if they be ready for a Thursday night's game, that would be immaculate. You know what I'm saying? To get to see them really play. We don't know how much minutes that Timmy's going to play. We don't know how much minutes that Dantas is going to play. But watching Dantas play, that's going to help Cece out so much because guess what? She could pick and roll with her more than she could pick and roll with Nalissa Smith. And now if you have a person like Dantas that comes out and pick and roll, and then you got somebody like Aaliyah Boston that's sealing down in the middle, guess what you got to do? Guess what you got? You could pick out of that. Cece could either pass the ball out or she could take a shot. Then if Dantas was to pick off of that and say that you have somebody running like as great as Cece is to pass, you got two great passers on your team now. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't have to worry about Cece be the only passer. You got two passers on your team that can pass well. You got Dantas that could look for Cece off the pick and pop, and Dantas could pass out of her natural position to Boston or Temi Fagbenle that's running the floor. Or you got Temi Fagbenle running the floor with CC, and she could pass to get easy shots. So now you got a different variety of scoring. To me, personally, I think once Dantas get up to speed, I think Christy Wallace should hit the bench. I think you should start Caitlin, Kelsey Mitchell, Dantas, Temi Fagbenle, and Leah Boston. Then you have a big front court that could run the floor and position themselves for rebounds. Then you don't have to worry about somebody like a Angel Reese or what's the girl name? Camila Cardozo battling on the board. And then now you don't have to worry about somebody that's as a defensive liability like Nalissa Smith is. You have somebody that Dantas that has a similar body, almost like Aaliyah Boston, that could battle under the board. You have Temi Fagbenle that's under there. They all big bodies battling for rebounds. Then you make the smaller defenders, such as other teams, have to play them and put them in foul trouble because now if Dantas is out hitting threes consistently, then you be like, okay, now you might end up having 5 players in double figure more than less than 4 players in double figure. Then if you bring somebody like Katie Lou that could give you probably 6 points, or you could get Wheeler could give you something, you know what I'm saying? Then it makes it or Lexi Hall that comes in, she could probably give you about a few points. Now you have a Nalissa Smith that could come and give you a quick 6 to 8 points to 10 points off the bench. Now you have bench production where you don't have to sacrifice so much with your starters. You know what I'm saying? Now you're going to have quality starters that's going to be able to give you points. Because if you get 17 for Caitlin, you get 18 for Boston, you probably get 17 for Kelsey. Say you get 10 or 12 points for Dantas, and you get 8 points from Fagbenle, then you get at least 15 points off the bench. If you could get 10 to 12 to 15 points on the bench, that's a recipe for winning games. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have better players in the front line that can play defense and rebound and get second chance rebounds and possessions to continue to run your offense. Now, like I said, people don't know much about Dantas, and I think if you don't know much about her, you need to pull highlights of her on YouTube and look at her game before questioning it. Yeah, it would be good to have somebody like a Celeste Taylor for defensive purposes, but you got to look at the other aspects of this team because you need more than just defense. You can have a defense specialist, but if you ain't getting a lot of scoring off the bench, it really don't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? It really don't matter at all. You need scoring. You need bodies. And I understand why they activate her because you need bodies now. You need bodies to bang on the low. You can't utilize Alyssa Smith and Aaliyah Boston because if they get in foul trouble, who the hell do you have? Katie Lou is not good enough to get down low because she pick up fouls quick. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great performance, not a performance, but it's a great way to look at what went on Sunday against the Sky when Angel Reese was dominating in the paint. If you had a person like Dantas that could stretch the floor, especially make somebody like Angel Reese play her out, then guess what? Now when the Sky take a shot and miss and get and there's a rebound, then you have like a Temi Fagbenle or you have Leah Boston under there to get rebounds, and then you don't have Angel Reese under there to crash the board and try to go back for second shots. You have her have to play somebody that's a little bit lethal outside. And then even if you had, say, Dantas outside and you bring Camilla out there, and guess what? Dantas could use her body, and she's strong enough to back somebody like an Angel Reese down to draw fouls. So it makes sense if you're looking at it in a basketball standpoint. And I understand a lot of people are in their feelings about it, and they talk about sabotage and all of this craziness. I don't care. I'm looking for basketball standpoint right now. I'm looking at how this team could get better in certain areas. Yeah, you're going to have to fix the defense at some point in time. You might can't fix it this year. You might have to wait till next year to get some people in there that know how to play defense. You know what I'm saying? But right now, you don't have enough scoring. You know what I'm saying? Because you're starting to play good teams, and you need somebody that has experience that can score the basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because you already seen that Alyssa Smith, she can't play defense at a high level. You know what I'm saying? And you need somebody that's been in the league that has experience. You know what I'm saying? Kelsey Mitchell, she plays too far off on offensive. You know what I'm saying? Like Trinity Carter, she was too far off her, and Trinity Carter was having her way. You got Wallace is in the game. She blows layups. If you look at Dantas, how she passes the ball, especially if you got her and Caitlin at the top, and Caitlin passes her, and Leah Boston cuts, and she finds Leah Boston, or Caitlin cuts, or somebody cuts, whoever, and then she rolls back around. You can pass the ball to her. You have a level of offense that teams going to have to pick and choose how to play y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's all about matchups. You know what I'm saying? We can preach defense all day long, but if you look at it, I was watching the Minnesota Lynx tonight in the Commissioner's Cup. They got scorers all over that floor. They're not as fast, but they got scorers, and they're efficient. That's what you need, efficient basketball. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and contemplate and think about, oh, well, this is not going to work, or, well, we got to worry about defense. If you playing defense and you rebounding the basketball, guess what? Your offense is going to come. Because now, with a person like Dantas, Kelsey, and Temi, and Leah Boston, you can't focus on Caitlin all the way now. And that brings me to my next piece. We heard in the beginning of the year where Christy Sides said that they had to break Caitlin's way. She has to shoot long twos instead of long threes. Okay. So if you didn't remember that, I'm going to just give you a little fresh memory.
Christy, when you look at Caitlin, she took 2 2-pointers in the first preseason game, 3 today. Is there a balance? What are you seeing that's kind of causing that? Is there a balance you'd like to see with that, or is that something you plan to address?
Yeah, I think she's used to some shots that she's taken in the last few years that are just those deep shots. And I don't know if, there's times she comes off ball screens where she's open in that long 2 area, and we've got to get her comfortable taking that long 2. She's going to get looks. She's going to get open looks. She's got to figure out, I gave her a rule the other day. She's got 0.5 seconds to make a decision. When she gets off the ball and she hits one of our high posts and somebody in the high post, she has a habit of hanging out and dancing. That's what she's done. It's these habits that we've got to break. She's got players around her now that she can get out. She can go screen, and the ball's going to get back to her. And that's what she hasn't had in the past. So that's what we've been trying to show her and explain to her.
All right, so you hear that. That was in the beginning of the season when Christie Sides said that she has better players. Okay, how that worked out for you the first 8 games of the season? And then finally, y'all started having practices. Y'all started having time to practice and gelling and getting together with each other. So with that being said, now here's Christie Sides with a different tune.
Yeah, I think sometimes she's being a little too unselfish at times. I think she had 13 assists the other night against Chicago. She is going, if you're open, she's going to hit you. I think she turns down some shots. I'd like her to take some shots that when she comes off, she knows she has the green light.
Is there a match?
All right, you hear that? Caitlin has the green light now. Before, in the beginning, she didn't have the green light. Now she has the green light. And this is, I hope Caitlin is paying attention to this, because now you pretty much going to have to run the show. You're going to have to say, guess what, Kelsey? Yeah, you can score or whatever, but I'm running the show now. I'm setting everybody up. Whether Kelsey she like it or not, or she start taking things in her own hand, hey, it's what it is. But like I said, with Dantas and Temi coming back, it's going to help this offense a little bit more. It's going to give this offense something that they haven't had all season. And it's going to be a different. Now, the chemistry is going to have to get renewed all over again, because Caitlin going to have to get used to Dantas. She's used to Temi, but they're going to have to work their way back into each other again. You know what I'm saying? And now if Christie Sides stick to what she just said, saying that, hey, Caitlin has the green light to shoot, guess what? You got 2 people on your team that sets grid screens. Temi Fagbenle, and you have Demiris Dantas that sets good screens. Now you got the high screen pick and rolls, because guess what? Aaliyah could sit down to the block and you can find her down there. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got more people pulling out to guard Temi and Mitchell and Dantas. You know what I'm saying? And then if you got somebody like Temi Fagbenle that's rolling, you can hit her in stride and she can easily make an easy pass. Then if she gets stuck, you can always kick it back out to Cece, or you can kick it to Dantas where she can hit an easy 3. You know what I'm saying? Now, and if Mitchell get her act together and play into it, she could be a great contributor, because Mitchell doesn't pass. I'm telling you what I think this team, if this team could gel, if this starting unit could come, if they put Wallace on the bench to where you start somebody like, because if you have Wallace, Wheeler, Hall, Samuelson, and Alyssa Smith, you have 5 on the bench. That's 10 people on the bench. And you can mix and match how you want to bring them in. You can have CC running different units, you know what I'm saying, where you could bring in somebody. Lexi Hall should get more minutes over Wallace, because she's a different type of defender than her, you know what I'm saying, because she runs pick and rolls good too. So you definitely going to need a different look, a different set when you're playing other teams. Because I think the way I'm thinking right now, with Dantas and Temi Fagbenle, I think you could match up well with Phoenix Mercury. I think you can match up well with Las Vegas Aces, because now you make them play differently, you know what I'm saying, than what they played before. And somebody like Asia Wilson has to play somebody like Dantas that could shoot good from outside. And guess what? You don't have that rim protector under there. Now you got our people like a Fagbenle or Leo Boston that could get rebounds. And now we can push the pace a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm looking at the situation. Now, Caitlin did speak up on what took place last week. And I'm going to let y'all finish that. Then I'm going to close out this video.
Yeah, I mean, it stinks. Like, it was a game we felt like we could have, won and put ourselves in a position to win after 3 quarters. And even, I think we were up 12 with 7 minutes to play in the game, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think you can't dwell on it too much, but it can't happen again. I think it's one you go back and watch the film and, like, you get in those situations. Like, if we have another situation where we're up, 15 in the 4th quarter, like, you have to be able to still attack and be aggressive, but also play really great defense. You can't foul as much. That stops the clock. That's free points when the clock's not even moving. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do. So, I think those things, and like I've said, like, we're in an inexperienced group. Like, you have to learn from it. That's the only thing you can do. So,
How do you?
All right. So with that being said, now it's time to see what this team, you getting healthy players back, and now how you gonna implement them into the system. Rather if they play Thursday or Sunday, it's going to be a different look team. Team's gonna have to play different because now you think about it. Like I said, Caitlin has the green light, so now she's going to have to show that it's her team. You can't worry about what Kelsey Mitchell. You can't worry about Erica Wheeler. You can't worry about Christy Wallace. You got to continue to build chemistry with Temi Fagbenle, now Dantas, and also continue with Aaliyah Boston, because that's where you need to. That's where the meat of your potatoes is in that core center of this team. Mitchell, like I said, they need to find a trade partner for her, find somebody that could really help operate. To me, like I said, in the offseason, I don't expect Mitchell to be there. I don't expect, Christie Sides to be there. And, Christie Sides is really right now is really getting criticized from everywhere. And I still believe ever since that information came out about Lisa Bluter talking to the owner, along with the coach from Drake, something has been said to Lynn Dunn to make Christie Sides start allowing Caitlin to be more of Caitlin, the way we expected her to be. I don't mind Caitlin passing the ball. I do want Caitlin to take the shot as she has the shot. I don't want her to be passive. Even Christie Sides just said it now. She said, well, she's too passive. She passed. She want her to be aggressive. She said that in the post game after the game. Now she's saying that, hey, she needs her to, if you feel like you got the shot, take the shot. But this is the one thing that I caution, is that because if she's saying she gives CC the green light and CC miss the shot or whatever the case would be, guess what's going to happen? She's going to get blamed for losing the game. So it's kind of way Christie Sides is kind of like taking the heat off of her and say, you know what, hey, Caitlin got the green light, so it's on her. Whether we win or lose, it's on her. It's not on me. So we can take it for what we want. But like I said before, the Celeste Taylor waiving Celeste Taylor hurts, because she's a young talent that could have, even if it's not this year, next year, she could have been a great contributor to this team. But, it's nothing you can do about it now. But I caution y'all to really watch film and tape of Demiris Dantas. Y'all really need to watch this lady, because if you don't, and you criticize her and you don't know how she plays, then when she do stop playing, y'all will be like, oh, well, dang, I didn't know she was like that. Well, that's why it's called research. Y'all need to research and look at these players up instead of saying, hey, well, we made a bad move. I understood the move, but I still understand that Victoria Saxton should have been cut instead of Celeste Taylor. That's the only move I don't agree with. I agree with the Dantas being activated again because we need scoring and we need balance up front. We don't have enough scoring. We don't have enough bench scoring. We don't have enough rebound power under the basket. And having Temi Fagbenle out hurt us a little bit more because just imagine if Temi or Dantas was playing against Chicago Sunday, we'd have blown them out. I'm just being honest with you. We would have blown them out. That 15-point lead would have never been chopped down. We probably would have beat them by 20. You know what I'm saying? Because now when we have somebody like Dantas to come back and we play them again in August, they're going to have to play us differently. They can't play us the same way. And that's why I say I think Melissa Smith could give us a lot of energy and points off the bench because especially as she come in and play against the team's second unit, she could easily get her points off. That'll help the team not lose sight of when CC is on the bench and you bring up Erica Wheeler in. You know what I'm saying? And then you still have somebody like a Leah Boston on the floor. Then you could take a Leah Boston, mix her up with a Dantas or Temi Fagbenle and have them on the floor with CC. Then you could bring somebody like Keith Wheeler on the floor or Christy or Lexi on them. It's so much. Or Samuelson. It's so many ways now you could rotate your team. But hell, we don't know. Christy Sides has shown that she don't know how to rotate. She don't know how to use a lineup correctly. You know, with all of this I'm saying right now, it sounds good. It sounds really awesome. But at the end of the day, Christy Sides got to make the right adjustments. And she already showed that. You know what I'm saying? But I still say this. I feel good about Temi and Demiris Dantas being back because I think the front line of the Fever is going to improve dramatically, especially in the rebound department and scoring department. And that's going to help CC a little bit better because you're going to have a person that understands how to pass. And Dantas could show CC a lot of different things too because she's a veteran. So she's been out there. So I think that's going to help out tremendously. I just can't wait to see it on the floor. Whether if it's Thursday or Sunday or next week, I think it's going to be soon. So honestly, I really wanted to be Thursday because I really want to be Thursday because then you get to play against a Seattle Storm team that can't play you a certain way. They have to play you a different way. And maybe this time around we can pick up a win off of them. That would be impressive. So with that being said, continue to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. This your boy, LiveWire Sports Media, Indiana Fever forecast production. If you don't know, now you know. And to everyone else, keep your head up, keep reaching for the stars.